guys, if you can remember recently in Kwara State, armed men were arrested and they confessed that the government supplies them with vehicle and the AK-47 they use. Now, upon further investigation, look at what Nigerians woke up to see. This one says, Kwara government confirms arrested armed men are Miyetti Allah members involved in NSA Ribadu-led security operation. So Ribadu now is involving Miyetti Allah members into the security architecture in Nigeria. And guess what? People have been reacting as a result of this headline. Like this person here now said, this is one of the major reasons why I have repeatedly recommended that NSA Ribadu, a Fulani man, be relieved of his duties as NSA. How do you engage Miyetti Allah cattle breeders members who are non-state actors as security personnel armed with AK-47 to go after terrorists that are also Fulanis? He went ahead to say, could this be the reason why Bello Bodejo, the Miyetti Allah Katahore leader arrested for terrorism-related offenses, such as the establishment of a Fulani vigilante outfit, was alleged to have been released by the NSA and the Attorney General? These developments reinforce concern that the NSA's strategy may amount to appeasement of Fulani terrorist elements, and he should step down to allow for more impartial handling of national security. So, the NSA, Ribadu, is being alleged to be protecting the Fulani interest and not the national interest. This is somebody who is eyeing the presidency. He wants to become president. And for him, he believes when Tinubu leaves, Tinubu is going to hand over Nigeria to him. If that happens, then you can see where we are going to find ourselves. For him to be involving Miyetti Allah members, these are the Miyetti Allahs that are killing people. And now, Nuhu Ribadu is involving them into the national security architecture, and Nigerians have raised alarm that this is not supposed to be. Now, let me read this, what this person also tweeted. This person here said, the NSA's idea of the forest guard actually began with Sheikh Gumi proposing the handling of our forest to this Islamists. He believes they have mastered the terrain enough and that it will be a form of de-radicalization for them. So he's saying that the NSA got his idea from Sheikh Gumi, who was saying that these terrorists should be allowed to be our forest guards because they've mastered the terrain in the forest. They understand all the forest, be it in Yoruba land or anywhere. They understand it. So they should be allowed to be the ones to serve as forest guards for Nigeria. So guys, what are we not going to see in this country? Now, let me show you how some Nigerians have reacted to this news. This person here saying, Secretary Mark Rubio, Raimore, please investigate Nuhu Ribadu as he may also be complicit in the genocide perpetrated by Fulanis in Nigeria. This is one such example when the terrorists say they are backed by the government. That is what this person is saying. Another person here says, it is very obvious that the Fulani politicians, no matter how highly placed, from the Sultan, the governor, the senators, down to their foot soldiers, the Miyetti Allahs, are all working hand in hand, terrorizing Nigeria in order to Islamize it. And this other person here said, they succeeded in pushing Tinubu to set up forest guard under the control of NSA. Tinubu himself has directed NSA to recruit people into forest guard and deploy to our forests all over the country. Guess whom they are recruiting? Miyetti Allah members to guard the forests. Can you imagine? And this other person here reacted and said, Ribadu is a Fulani man, so how do you expect him to go against their Fulani agenda? They offered that office to him to protect and support the movement. I didn't fault him, but the president who signed the agreement and gave him that seat. And this other person here said, this is why NSA Nuhu Ribadu should resign. When you arm the culprit, what else do you want? Miyetti Allah are the ones committing these killings, and the same body you made forest guards. Nigeria is a theater of absurdity. Someone should explain this to Nigerians. Sack Ribadu. And this other person here says, when Canada government proscribed APC party as a terrorist group, their supporters were running their mouth like a tap water, which has lost its control. All indications have revealed now that APC is a terrorist, kidnapper, bandit, useless government. And this other person here said, the bandits said, na Kwara government give them arms and security car. Kwara government talk say, they are Miyetti Allah involved in Ribadu-led security. Una see how them turn us to table tennis. There's nothing you want to tell me. Our government is in bed with these terrorists. Say here, say Raimore, note the NSA head you recently met with and with whom you seek security cooperation is alleged to be arming a non-state militia group known for inciting hatred and violence against non-Muslims. And finally, this person here said, so Miyetti Allah are now machineries that the federal government hires to fight insecurity. The problem with these people in the APC government is that they think everybody has no brain and are as foolish as them. Imagine this kind of lie. And this one say, Raimo, these are the real issues. These are hidden agenda in what is happening. And the government is not coming out clean because they truly know what is happening. The world is watching the next step of POTUS, that's US, to all this whole issue around the genocide. The world is watching the next step of the United States to all these whole issues happening around genocide. That means our eyes are, open to see what the United States is going to do. So guys, you can see that Nigerians are pointing at Ribadu, saying, how dare you bring in the Fulanis into our security architecture. Now I'm going to allow you to take a look at this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
I'm praying for my governor that is fighting Murfa. The man needs prayers. He cannot do anything. I'm also praying for Tinubu. Tinubu's hands is tight.
Why do you say so, sir?
It's tight. With Ribadu by the side.
Ribadu.
Ribadu.
The NSA.
Let me tell you, Fulani have numbers of blood. Even at my backyard, they have his number. Ribadu is saying that he's advising on security matters. Have you seen the problem subsiding? Always on increase. He's a failure in that office. Why would they keep him? Keep a failure in their office? Who's somebody who cannot stop killing? If he say he's a Muslim, why did he allow Muslim to be killed? He's not a person that is capable of that office. He's a fanatic. And Shetima too. Shetima should be removed from that office. And that's the truth.
That's the VP.
Not the VP. What advice is he giving to Tinubu? Okay, prove me wrong. Let Tinubu summons Ribadu and Shetima and give them order. They should communicate with the head of securities in Nigeria. They should give a marching order into the bush. Let us see whether they will give that order. We Gumi will fight them because they are his children in the bush. That's where they have made Nigerian account to become an ATM, collecting money.
To be quiet. You can see what we are having here before us. Yes. Rice, vegetable, yes. A group from US send their delegate. The group is known as Save Nigeria. So everywhere is going to be quiet while they do the presentation to us in Home for the Needy Foundation.
On behalf of the Save Nigeria Group, the President Stephen Osamuge, I present this foodstuff, 10 bags of rice to Home for the Needy Foundation. 1 carton of tomatoes and 25 liters of vegetable oil. Christians who were displaced because of their faith. Yes.
And they are here in Home for the Needy Foundation. Thank you so much, Save Nigeria, the US, for sending all this thing to us, for thinking of us, and presenting this to us. Thank you, and God bless you in Jesus' name. He said to Save Nigeria Group in US.
We are joining NLC protest against rising wage of insecurity today.
Yes.
So, can you tell us your view about insecurity in the country?
It's unprecedented level of insecurity. And it's insecurity that is driven by incompetence, insecurity that is driven by corruption, insecurity that is driven by lack of awareness of what constitutes security by the leaders of Nigeria. People always make a mistake that security is only limited to physical security alone. But what we have warned over the years is that lack of social protection, lack of education, the lack of opportunity for our people is going to lead to massive insecurity. So even as we are calling for immediate short-term solutions to this insecurity, our position is that the long-term solution is economic security, it's job security, it's security in the power sector. Because without stopping all these insecurities, you are only putting band-aids on an open wound driven by cancer. That's our position. But you understand that this problem cannot be solved by the people who created it. A Minister of Defense, a Minister of State for Defense, who is involved in actively funding bandits can never end the security. A President of Nigeria whose political career was built on creating insecurity in Lagos can never end insecurity. And all these governors who are driven by selfish interests, whose only agenda is to steal security funds, can never end insecurity. So beyond just hoping that they will end insecurity, you must hope, you must fight for the will to overthrow this particular old order. That's the solution to the problem. Yes. Well, I'm not in a position to speak on behalf of the NLC. Like you rightly mentioned, I'm an ally of Nigerian workers, and we were invited as a courtesy to be part of this protest. So when they commence the protest, they'll give you the exact demands that they have of the government. What we know on the civil society side is that the country is bleeding, and the bleeding ought to be immediately stopped. And Nigeria, or the leadership of Nigeria, has failed to protect the people of Nigeria at this time. I don't need to reel to you the casualties all over the country. People are getting kidnapped, people are getting from places of worship, whether you are a Muslim or a Christian. We have over 250 kids still in captivity in Nigeria, and everybody's behaving as if everything is normal. We've moved on. Nobody's even talking about those things anymore. We even have our soldiers of the Nigerian Air Force captured by a small republic of Burkina Faso. It looks like everything has broken down irretrievably, and we have a duty to keep conscientizing and mobilizing Nigerian people to sit there and look, enough is enough. And that is why we are here to march peacefully with the NLC leadership, because they invited us to be part of it. But in terms of what they exactly want, I think they are in a better position to say that. Because I know that as of last night, they were still with the government. So their priorities might have changed, but I don't think their demands could have changed. Yes. Well, there's no reason for us to be giving excuses that insecurity has always been an issue. Insecurity has not always been an issue. The level of insecurity we have in Nigeria now has never been to this level. even during the period of the Civil War, which I didn't experience but I read about, life was going on in different parts of the country. If you want to think about the zones during the Civil War, only the Southeast was blanketed in terms of violence and strife. But in the case of Nigeria today, you tell me which region of Nigeria is safe? None. If you go to the Southeast, it's unsafe. You go to the Southwest, it's unsafe. You go to the Northwest, it's completely under siege. You go to the Northeast, it's completely been taken over. In terms of even territory, Nigeria has lost almost 30% of its territories to non-state actors that they designate themselves as terrorists. They call them bandits, kidnappers. But the truth is that Nigeria is completely blanketed at this time, and it seems as if the leadership of Nigeria has lost complete control of the security of the country. I'm just explaining that to you so that you know that it is not true that insecurity has always been there, not at the level that we are experiencing now. No.
I don't know when we should stop working on insinuation. Insinuation by who? NLC is an organization that has its own channel of communication. I'm not sure we sent any letter to the media calling off of the action. So I don't know where you got that inspiration. Or is meeting with the president the same thing as call off? Please let me know.
All right, so what are the demands? I did ask this question earlier, and I don't know that as the Congress, you have some core demands that you're going to make today. What are those core demands that you're making on the president?
Before now, we did a letter to the president to discuss state of the nation with him. And that was in June, precisely June 16th. And between that time and now, we have made efforts. A letter to the minister, through the Minister of Labor, acknowledged. Letter to the CSO, to the president, acknowledged. A letter through the secretary to the government, acknowledged. And between June and now, some of them acknowledged on the 17th, exactly 6 months today. Between that time and now, none of them communicated to the president. And part of the discussion we wanted to hold with the president is on national issue of security, both physical security, physical insecurity and financial insecurity. So it took this issue of action, which was basically to protest and to list to them the level of physical and financial insecurity that the workers are passing through. But yesterday, I think through the governors forum, or through the progressive governors, we were able to secure a meeting with the president. And we listed all these issues, including the issue of crisis in the academic tertiary institutions. And we were clear with him, of course he agreed, that there should be a negotiating machinery in the academic, in the tertiary institutions, so that it is not this today ASU, following the SANO, following the NASU. So we agreed on that. On the issue of the health workers that have been on strike for a long time, we agreed on that, and he gave the governors there the channel of getting back to him and interfacing between us and him, because it appears all the bureaucratic channels have collapsed. You know, they are not working together, nobody, and I'm not sure they meet him. You know, we now discuss this issue of insecurity, fiscal insecurity, and financial insecurity. And he said, you know, that the security situation did not start with him, which we appreciate, but our leadership is a continuum. And he said he has done a lot, and we lamented on the issue of equipment by our own security, which he said he has gone far in making sure that in no distant time, the issue of this insecurity will be a thing of the past. And he now said that he had pulled Nigeria out of economic hardship, which will now say he wants it translate to the pocket of the workers. And on the basis of that, Mr. President agreed that the entire National Executive Council of the NLC will have a meeting with him, I think so, yeah. NAC of NLC by January, you know, so that all those issues should be discussed. And you can see that these are discussions and action in progress. But whether that will now, people will now translate it to calling off protests, that's not the position of Congress. Calling for this protest is to call attention on the seriousness of both financial and fiscal insecurity. And you can see from him even agreeing to talk with us yesterday, is getting momentum. And as we progress, the awareness and consciousness will be created. So I don't see why, people will try to demarcate themselves, not the NLC.
President, where is the procession? Usual deployment of security men around.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. It's normal. For the success of any protest is about the number of policemen, DSS, that are either sent to secure us or to stop us. Either way, that's the success. And we envisage all this. So if they stop us, that shows that our action, it has effect. If they protect us, that equally shows that action has effect. But we have noticed some reaction from the security apparatus, especially the hierarchy, and we want to put it on record that industrial relation issues is not a security issue. So anytime we have an action, it will be wrong to send the heads of security institutions to negotiate with us. It's a no-no. In terms of labor issues, the office of the Secretary to the government and the Minister of Labor are responsible. So not the heads of security, whether that is to intimidate us or not. I've never seen any country where there are labor issues, you call security people either to intimidate us or whatever. So that's the point. That's what you are seeing here now. And I think it should be seen in that.
Shall we continue to allow impunity reign in Nigeria?
When we talk about security in Nigeria, the question I ask, and you should ask yourself, is who has the right of safety? That's the biggest question. And the moment you answer that question, you understand why there's no security. And it's that safety and security is not meant for Nigerians as a whole. It's meant for the tiny 1% of people in power and in government and in the business community. The rest of you are just audience in the security business. So the Nigerian police has 350,000 members on paper. But as you know, I do my research, they only have 210,000 of them that are actually working right now because most of them have traveled abroad but still collecting salary. And out of that 210,000 police officers that are left, about 110,000 of them are protecting VIPs. So you have only about 100,000 policemen left for 230 million people. That is why when they introduced their last withdrawal from VIP, I was laughing because I know there's no way you can withdraw police from VIP. The only unfortunate VIPs whose policemen will be withdrawn are those who have not renewed their license for protection. And in doing this, the IGP, illegal, as I call him, must be smiling to the back because everybody will run back and say, okay, please, this is Christmas period. And criminals that they created are waiting for them anyway during the Christmas season. And the other thing you must understand is that insecurity or security happen as a result of two things that people don't discuss. One in Nigeria is as a result of intentional crime. But the most important insecurity we are faced with happens as a result of insecurity that is driven by structural problems. And when you talk about structural problems, forget about who you want to blame for what is happening in Nigeria. The biggest problem in Nigeria is that we have intentionally designed this country not to be protected because of the intention of those in power, not to protect Nigeria. And let me tell you, most people don't know that Nigerian leaders, because of their inability to govern any territory, like small territories. Because that's the way you can impress. If you are supposed to govern the entire Lagos, you don't start governing Ikeja and show to the world that is safe. But what happens to Ikorodu? What happens to the other parts of Lagos? That is what has happened with regards to how Nigeria has been left in the hands of these structural criminals. And they are aided and abetted by the official criminals who are in uniform as security agencies in this country. There is a running show, I would say, or report on Sahara Reporters about a general in the army who was kicked out. His name is Ali Kefi. He has revealed, and most of you have attention deficit disorder, you can't read anymore. I don't blame you. There's too much to read. Go and read
just what this guy has been throwing out in the last 4-5 days, you will be shocked. The Nigerian security system is aware of where all the big criminals are. He revealed that for 8 or more years, Shekau was living at a place in Sambisa Forest that is known to all the military officers in the country. How is it that they are bombing even villages of people who are not involved, but they cannot bomb where Shekau is? Because the insecurity system is big business. And this is why I am not one of the people who is very quick to blame a Fulani man. Because it's not the Fulanis alone that are into crime. We only do what lawyers call alibi. We always want to blame somebody or give an excuse for all our failures. At the time, it was Niger Delta militants that were problems. Now it has moved up north. But you should ask yourself, why is the Fulani man succinctly having the ability to commit crime at the rate at which they are apart from connivance? It's economic. Beef, meat that you are eating is a $30 billion industry for the Fulani man. And there's none of you, particularly Yoruba people, there's nothing you don't eat as part of the body of a cow. The Yorubas are the only people who I know who eat everything in the body of a cow, except the shit. Even the shit they will eat through, what is that thing they call towel? Shaki. There's no way you eat shaki without eating shit now. Because that is where shit is domiciled inside of the body of a cow. Nose, you eat. Bokoto, leg, yash, everything you eat. Where does your money go to? The Fulani man who owns the cow. I once stopped on my way from Taraba. It's not funny to Adama when I ran in 2018 and I stopped by a Fulani man. I spoke to him on the road. The man said he has with his child over 40 million naira in that crowd. And they have some 1,000 cows following him. I said to him, why would you carry 40 million naira with you when you put it in a bank? He said, the banker is a thief. I don't want them to take my money. I said, so what do we do for you to solve this problem? He said, give me a hydroponic place to put my cows. I will stay. I don't like walking around, but nobody is doing that. The question is ingenuity and the capacity of leaders to think appropriately will solve 90% of our problems. But we don't want to solve our problems. We like to romanticize our problems. That is why every time we're always looking for somebody to blame. And when we finish looking for somebody to blame, then we are looking for somebody to help us. That is what brought us to Trump. Every Nigerian, Trump is coming. And I asked them 2 weeks ago in Lagos, what if Trump doesn't come? What happens? And Trump still hasn't come. Just like Jesus Christ hasn't come back. And you guys are expecting Jesus Christ to come and fix electricity. And Jesus hasn't come back in 2,000 years. And now you are expecting Trump to come and help you fix the problem of Boko Haram. Trump is not going to come because America doesn't help in places where it cannot benefit. I lived in America for 20 years. And all the problems we have in the world, America created most of the problems. Everywhere America intervened in the world, they are still in the hands of the people they said they want to save them from. Go and talk about Afghanistan. Who is in charge of Afghanistan? Taliban. Go and talk about Libya that they broke apart. Where's your problem from? Small arms. Libya. Go and ask what they did in Syria. The guy who is president of Syria used to be, we had bounties of $10 million placed on his head. And he's now the president playing basketball with CENTCOM directors in America. That's the highest military command in the US. So foolishly, you're expecting America to come and save you. And when that salvation don't come, then you start looking in the sky all the time. So we have a problem as a people that we are always running away from our problems because we don't want to solve them. And those of us who want to solve them, you don't believe that we can solve them because we don't look like the people who don't know how to solve problems. That is why all the time when we tell you that the solution to Nigeria's problem is revolution, you say, well, if there's a revolution, how is it that there won't be war? Are you not facing war now? Is it not low-level war that you are facing? And I want to say to you, most of Nigeria's insecurity problem came from injustice. somebody was, Kuti was talking about, we need to arm ourselves. What did nnamdi Kanu do? He set up an ESN to arm their own people, to protect them against their own enemies. What did you put him? You took him, tried him, Yoruba prosecutors, Yoruba judge, because you Yoruba like to distance yourself from problem. And then you carried him and put him in Hausa jail because he set up a system to protect his own people. Is that not part of your right to have self-determination? But most of you that supported the injustice against nnamdi Kanu, I'm saying it, are Yoruba intellectuals on Twitter who are saying he deserves to die. They insult me every day because I fight for him. Yoruba people mostly. And I'm not blaming Yorubas in general before they start saying that, oh, you should rest said they should go and kill Yoruba people. No. I am just saying that you should search your conscience as to the reason why you are in the situation that you are in. The president of the country, whether he's a Muslim or not, is a Yoruba man. And we are here still blaming Fulani. Is Tinubu a Fulani? This guy came from Lagos here. I think Commodore even said some of our leaders are not from Nigeria. It is true. But Tinubu, at least, is from Nigeria. So why is it that he doesn't care about Nigeria? Yes, you can say, but the question is that how can you be from a place that doesn't even exist? The Nigeria we're all shouting about is a creation of some British guys. It's a supermarket that was created as a business in 1901 by the Niger Royal Company. That is the name of the company that created Nigeria. And you are here asking somebody that he should die for an idea that was done by a third party. So how can somebody be in Nigeria when Nigeria also don't believe in you as a person? Am I not here? This is my friends, when they declare me wanted every week. You think I'm the biggest problem, I'm the biggest terrorist in Nigeria with the police. Maybe by the time I leave this place, they would have declared me wanted again based on what I'm saying. But that's not the problem. I'm also the one who had to fight for their pension. By the way, you have been removed from the pension system because I fought. Wow. Yes, they have been removed from the pension system. But they hate me with passion. But I love them with passion. Because I hate seeing policemen who retire and can't live a normal life, can't buy medicine, can't send their children to school. That is what we call leadership. Extending passion to people who hate you. Are you getting me? But to not waste too much of your time, right? As has been said, Nigerians always have prescribed solutions. State police, local government police. I support any kind of policing, even campus policing. My problem is that if you have a state police, who regulates it? Where do you train the policemen? And who has the oversight over a state police? Because already we have...
So guys, there have been a lot of reactions coming up after terrorists that were arrested in Kwara State confessed to be sponsored by the government. And upon further investigation, they were linked to the office of the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, who is the National Security Advisor of the Tinubu's government. Now, here are some of the updates. All right, channel. Sahara Reporters has got this to say, and here it says, Mieti Allah members arrested with NSA issued rifle. NSA issued rifle in Kwara amid rising terror attacks. These people have their rifles, issued by the office of the NSA. That is the office that is led by Nuhu Ribadu. And you can see this other headline here also said, Mieti Allah members arrested with NSA rifle in Kwara, linked to state government vigilante employment. Hey, so these people were actually employed, Fulanis, having guns. Fulani, Mieti Allah members in Kwara State. They said they were employed by the government as vigilantes and they were caught with AK-47. So guys, there's nothing we won't hear in this country. Now let me show you how some Nigerians are reacting. This person here said, Bello Metawale and Nuhu Ribadu must resign. NSA chairman Nuhu Ribadu is using Mieti Allah members, the same people who have claimed responsibility for many killings, for security operation, including giving them weapons and assigning them duties. How absurd is this? Nigerians reacting. And this other person here said, dear Nigerians, your NSA is in bed with radical Islamic terrorist groups. Hey, you can see many Nigerians reacting. This other person here said, Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria is a terrorist organization. Another person here, I mean, a whole lot of reactions. This person said, Mieti Allah members, NSA Ribadu led security operation. As how? How come the NSA of all the people in Nigeria, alongside all the jobless youths, is the Mieti Allah that have come out openly to take responsibility? Recently, they just killed about 4 children in a reprisal attack in Plateau State. These are the people NSA is giving guns. And this person says, I'm trying to understand the link between armed Mieti Allah members and the reported involvement in a security operation by NSA Nuhu Ribadu. Wasn't Mieti Allah once proscribed as a terrorist organization? If so, why do they now appear to be working with the office of the NSA? These are serious questions that deserve clear answers. Nigerians, these are serious questions deserving serious answers. And you can see that El-Rufai once accused Ribadu of empowering bandits or terrorists, like you can see from this headline. And also this headline still says the same thing. El-Rufai accuses Nigerian government of paying terrorists despite office of the National Security Advisor denying that they are not doing it. And this one, El-Rufai accuses Kaduna government Asani and NSA Ribadu of empowering bandits. So guys, you can see that this has been for long, and El-Rufai raised that alarm. Now let me even show you how more Nigerians have reacted to this. Like this person said, how do you appoint a national security advisor whose specialty is financial crime, no knowledge of defense, intelligence, international security, war and diplomacy, etc., and you say you have security? This other person here said, some people rejected him that time when Tinubu appointed him as he was a suspect. That is what is playing out now. Una go surprise say na them go be the forest guards wey he recruit. Tinubu said he wants to recruit. So people are saying, so he now went and he recruited Mieti Allah members. This person said, how can Defense Minister Chris Musa succeed, seeing he is sandwiched between Ribadu and Metawale? This person here says, being in bed is an understatement. Nigeria is a big crime scene, and the government itself is the one sponsoring terrorism. No this and no peace. Another person here says, I'm not surprised. Sani Abacha said, if insurgency lasts for 24 hours, the government officials are involved. Obasanjo said, while he was in office, Nigeria can trace and arrest anyone in anywhere in the world. Today, NIA can only arrest activists, but can't arrest terrorists, And this other person here said the government made Mieti Allah the security architecture of his state. Before one of the killings, the head of the Mieti Allah came and disbanded the vigilantes of their guns, saying he wanted to help them service them. Before the attack, before one of the killings, the head of the Mieti Allah came and disbanded the vigilante of their guns, saying he wanted to help them service them. So the head of Mieti Allah indirectly collected guns from vigilante, telling them he wants to help them to fix their guns. And then these people came and attacked. And this one say they confirm what Malam El-Rufai said. This confirms what Malam El-Rufai said on national TV 2 months ago, that Tinubu's government is empowering terrorists through the office of the NSA. No one has come out to refute it. This simply means Nigerian government is rewarding terrorists. So guys, this is it. This is what we are saying about the insecurity in Nigeria. It's not getting any time better. I mean, it is not going to get any time better because we don't have people who really want to support Nigeria as a country. And Tinubu will see all these things now because of politics. Tinubu will just pay blind eyes. Now, this other person say, remember when Raimo came to Nigeria, visited Ribadu to shine teeth during photo shots, issued statements on position talk, only to go back home and issue a damning report on Nigerian government. The US knows more than Nigerian government thought. If the US can place travel ban on Nigerian government officials, including their immediate and extended family, the security issue will end overnight. Okay, if US can place, if the US can place travel ban on Nigerian government, I think this makes sense. You know, Trump is just giving a general travel ban, but I think this makes sense if that is what is going to make them to sit up. I think Nigeria will get it better. And this person here say, Nigeria has happened to me. My sister and brother were kidnapped yesterday at 3:30 p.m. on their way coming from Abuja to Edo State at Okene Opila, close to Auchi. Maybe Nigeria divides so that we can have peace. Unless this one know whose turn is the next. And this one here say they will soon come out and deny it. The ones they do know it, that the news is real. They apply the same method, pattern, and operation. And this one is for those of us who don't know the meaning of NSA in Nigeria. It refers to the National Security Advisor, a top government official who serves as the president's principal advisor and coordinator for all national security matters, heading the office of the national security. My God. And overseeing intelligence. And our NSA is Ribadu. So Baba Ribadu come and explain how these rifles got into the hands of these Mieti Allah terrorist groups. I think this make a lot of sense. This person is saying, in case you don't understand the position that this man is holding, it's a powerful position. He is in charge of, call it DSS, call it Chief of Defense Staff, call it State Defense Minister, call it anything, NIA, call it anything. This Ribadu is the chief of them all. He is now the one accused of bringing the Fulani militias into the security architecture and arming them. Hey, you can imagine being protected by your enemies. They decide whether you are to live or not. They even decide when to buy you and how long you are left to live. So guys, Tinubu is very docile when it comes to all this complaint because of 2027. But I think this one should really shake Tinubu if he really has sense. This person has said, Dear Raimo and Ted Cruz, the Nigerian officials that palliated the severity of insecurity in Nigeria are directly involved. You see it? And another person has said, this corrupt government that thrive on rigging, criminality, and blood of innocent citizens of Nigeria must be dislodged without sentiment. Another person, assuming Nigeria cannot be dissolved, the country will not know peace unless the Jihad Fulani expansionist terrorists, both blue collar and ragtag, are dislodged from government. So from the long and short of it, what I'm understanding, Ribadu is even the one that will decide, as in whether nnamdi Kanu will go to jail, because he's the one that advises Tinubu on security. God. And this one now says, these are the same people that have been insulting the US and everyone else for talking about Christian genocide in Nigeria. You see, Fulani in Nigeria, they are up to something serious in this country. If not, how come one tribe be so empowered with assaulted weapons like AK-47 in disguise. People that have been accused of violence. Another person here say, we all know Mieti Allah is a terrorist organization. How did the NSA arm them with AK-47? So guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.